But thank you for reminding me.
Go ahead, Mark.
Because I went looking, I was in today signing bills.
Thank you. I did up a couple handouts on today's cash balances and the projected fund projection come December. Now, I know, Chris, you had talked about cash balances at our last meeting, so I didn't know if you got any information from Kathy.
Yeah, we met.
Yeah, yeah.
Kathy on
Did you get what
Yeah.
you needed?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, here's,
Thanks.
and you're ahead of me on the projected fund balance, that would have been the next question.
Thank you, sir.
Mike leave or is he coming back?
No, he's coming back.
I don't know if you want to go over any of the information on the handout now, or you want to do that a little later.
On what, the fund balance?
Right.
So, do you wanna maybe do the library
Do
budget
the library
first?
first?
Yeah,
So that-
that's what we're gonna do first.
And then go to this, is that okay?
That's fine.
So Karen can, leave if she wants to leave?
Isn't fund balance mostly Randy budget? Yeah, I mean, but just the guesstimate now anyway.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Karen, come up.
I'll even bring my own chair.
Come on down.
Come on down. It's under the green, behind the green door.
Library and pharmacy.
I can't believe I do that. I did it with Kim on the phone all the time too. Okay. Read them and weep.
Any questions, anyone?
Well, what's the library edition expenses under 2019 actual?
Yeah, that's our H fund.
That's
That's a H fund, so that doesn't involve your budget. That's our,
That's not-
that's our DASNY,
Was
that's
that
our
for the
DASNY
repairs
money.
that were made?
Yeah, and that comes out of the DASNY money, the state money, that's state
Okay,
funded
that's
money,
what I-
yes, right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's why the side of the page is blank, right. Mhm.
Well, I'll be the one to ask you the $2 million question.
No, that's okay, I mean,
Well,
I should ask,
the reason it stands out is the
What?
percentage is 111.46% increase.
right, right.
Yeah.
Well, if, you-
I gotta ask.
oh, well, you gotta look at the individual lines and see where that's coming from.
Library aid.
Well, there's two. That 27.5, is that what you're looking at there? That number 27.5? That's salaries for both of them. That's two full-time people. That's both, or not, no, not two, a full-time and a part-time person.
Which budget
So-
line are you talking about?
7410.1.
Yep.
That's the first
Where
one.
it says library director,
No, the one right above it.
library aid.
Exactly.
That's the summer aid and Roxanne.
No, it's Tanisha. It's Tanisha who is a 12-hour-a-week person.
Okay.
She works 12 hours per week and year-round. But that took away on the next page where it said library temporary aid, where last year we had $2,000. We don't have that anymore because we don't use a summer aid anymore because Tanisha's there for 12 hours a week.
So that's what it
And-
was.
Yes, and then in March, Roxanne went full-time. Okay, and now, so that's one thing where you're gonna see a big difference from here to here. All right, so I guess a lot of little differences add up to a lot of big differences. You're gonna see another big difference in the library director, not necessarily in salary, but under medical, which is, where is it for? I should have circled it here.
800
Page
the bottom.
14.
Yeah, 800.
9060.
Yes, exactly. Because prior to this time, she was covered under her previous husband's insurance. And now she's not, because she's divorced, so she now gets insurance
She's
for
now
the
on town
town.
insurance.
Now she's on town insurance, right. So that's another biggie that's adding up
Yeah,
to that.
and Rox gets to buy out.
And Rox gets the buyout, which we calculated is like, I think it's under $2,000, which her buyout, Roxanne's buyout would be, so, not a huge number, but, so, yeah, that's where,
That would be,
those are, I mean, yeah, so if you look line by line, those are the only significant increases. Now, if you have a question,
This
That I
doesn't
can-
include any revenue from Friends of the Library.
no, this we're talking, right, we're just with this budget, right, yeah, exactly.
We haven't heard
No.
if there's gonna be any funds donated from Friends of the Library.
you haven't heard from them?
None were, no. If that were the case, and it were the same or similar to last year, then we could look at that collection line, which we as a board already dropped $1,000.
Right, I see that.
You know, yeah, so if we were to get that information and knew that that money was coming, that would, you know, and we knew that that was a given in writing, blood
Blood.
writing. Well, just you gotta be sure, you can't, you know, you have to go by facts. Then that would be another place that we could say, hey, this is really good, we could offset those other increases that way.
Right.
But we don't have that.
No,
No,
the reason
but
I asked, I
that's
didn't
the
realize
best-
that there's two, not one, and then plus a
Yeah,
part-timer.
right, so you asked
that's
the
why it
number
come up.
one best question to start with, Randy.
Well, it's a big number, that's all.
It is, absolutely. If you look at the other lines, that's what differences make, you know? Yeah, that's what differences make.
Why is the computer line up so much this year?
3,000,
I'm sorry,
3,000,
the
no.
amount spent in year-to-date in 2019.
Depending on the number of the computers that are purchased each year, we do those as a group buy from SALS. We have, unfortunately, I guess, or fortunately, I don't know, we have to buy our computers from SALS. They're bought on a rotating schedule, so one year we might have to purchase 2, the next year we might have to purchase only 1. It is because they can only be updated for a certain number of years. Their program, these are tied into SALS, where when someone comes off that computer, it goes to the mainframe of SALS, of the Southern Adirondack Library System, through their joint automation project, and everything is wiped clean. So if you come into the library, for example, and go and do something inappropriate on a public computer, the next person or the next day that somebody comes in to use that, everything is wiped clean and they can't access what you did. So it's not like we can go to Office Depot and buy a computer and have them come and hook it up. I think they're a little on the high side myself, their prices.
You know what you're paying?
I think
Sure, I can tell you that.
also, the problem with it, with this one was that, they were ordered in 18.
They
They
are,
arrived in 19, so that was monies that were
Right.
supposed to have been paid out
At the
in
previous
18,
year.
But because the way SALS does their
the last group
delivery
buy
and-
is late in the year. The
Right.
last group buy is late in the year, so we don't get those computers until the following year. So it shows up on that even though they were delivered in the previous year.
Karen, we
Yeah.
actually they had a problem with their vendor.
Mm-hmm.
So although the order was put in September,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't get the bill until the end of January or
Okay.
February.
All right, so,
So there you've got practically 2 orders sitting,
Yep,
yeah, so
Sit on
that's
our-
why, yeah.
yeah.
So that was monies,
Mhm.
Mark, to answer your, that didn't get used in 18, that was budgeted, but it was paid, so it went back.
The second part of the question is this gonna affect 2020?
I don't know yet, because I brought to the attention to the board, which has not yet been approved by the board, it's just not my decision, as to the number of public computers. It's a little source of contention that we have among some of the members of the board and the director, as to how many public computers we really need. And statistics show, you saw it in the report to the community, there was a period of time there where the usage has gone down with public computers because of people using their own devices when they come in. More and more people are using their iPhones, their iPads, what have you, bringing their own personal computers in here to use. Do we really need the number of public computers? And again, it's my personal thing that I'm pushing for is to decrease by 1 the number of public computers. And then that would affect the following year's budget. You know, it would affect how many we would purchase in 2020.
Sherry, how much do they run?
They're running about I wanna say 935 a piece.
Okay, so
The
about
nine-
$1,000.
But that's the software is, if, like this year when we got the 3 computers, I think for the software for all 3 of them was a little over $200. And then they have some type of malware, which is only like $20, so.
Yeah.
So you're coming a little over $1,000 a
Right,
piece.
right, okay,
Yeah.
so if we only got 1, we, or 2 even, we could maybe.
Right,
knock
if
that
we're on a
down little
rotating
bit.
schedule of 3, including staff computers, and we could cut that down to a rotating schedule of 2, that's a possibility. You know, that's a possibility.
That's actually all I foresee for the next 2 years,
2,
Karen.
2,
2 for each year,
2.
yeah.
but there have been years when we were getting 3.
Well, what happened this last time was because the problem Sal's was having with their vendor. I had no way of knowing that it was, you order in September, you don't expect it to come in February.
But you ordered 3 this year.
Well, that's because of that extra computer.
Okay.
We had ordered 2 and 1 the previous year. The one that was ordered in September of 2018 came in 2019.
The only thing that might change, and that's still up in the air, is if we get the approval to be a federal depository library. Now, that is a big thing for Hamilton County to have, for people to have access to federal documents, both in-house and very quickly to search online for it. That needs a designated computer, and that's their requirement. That's the federal government's requirement, that has a designated computer. But for example, if you were to go sit on your computer now and wanted to look at the congressional record from December the 1st, 62, for example, and see what had transpired. And there are people who are interested in this, or they're interested in the Warren Commission hearings and they want to read about them. You would have to go through a quagmire of process to find that. Where in a federal depository library, they just have an index so that you can automatically click on it and you have it. So it's a big thing in the library field and for people who are interested, and it's a big thing for a library to have that. And Sherry's still working on getting approval because you have to jump through a lot of hoops to do that. If that should come to fruition, that would mean that we would need a designated computer. So am I gonna say that this is gonna change? Maybe yes, maybe no, I don't know. I don't know. I'd love to get rid of one public computer, but then if we get the depository program and we need a designated computer for it, there you go. Then it's almost a wash. Got rid of one, bought another, so things remain the same. Yeah. Obviously, we don't have no control over Social Security, Medicare, workers' comp, no control over that. I don't know what else I have control over.
Revenue seems like they're going up, so that's a good thing.
It is,
Retirement,
it
I
is.
have no idea.
There's some good benefactors there, some good people who, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What
Yep.
else, what else,
Any
Mark?
questions for Karen?
What else, Mark?
I'm sorry?
Any other questions from you?
Used 4.04% for
I'm sorry,
increase
where are you?
for library director.
Yeah, I was
Page
looking at
13.
that too, because
The
For library
previous
director,
page.
okay.
Bottom-
7410.102.
was based on a 2% raise.
Yes.
And then a 2%, the cost of
Living
living
raise.
raise, and then 2%, step.
Step.
Step, this is the step.
Okay.
But we don't know when that's gonna occur either. When do they get the step? Is it when their anniversary date? Okay, anniversary date, okay. Mhm. Oh, that's the 4% you were looking at.
Yeah.
That's why it was 2 and 2, that's why. Mhm. And it actually comes out a little bit more, because if you get one over the other, because I was calculating, and you put 2%, and then you take 2% of the higher number,
Yeah.
you know, it's not like, you know, it compounds itself. Yeah. So that's why it actually comes out a little bit more than 4. That's probably the .04.
Yeah,
That's the 04. Mhm. I mean, I'll gladly justify any other line. Ask me while I'm here.
I'm good with it.
Remind me
answered my
how many
question.
hours a week
I'm
Roxy
sorry.
works?
I'm sorry.
Remind me, Rocky's 35
30,
hours a
30,
week?
30. 30. She works
okay.
30, Sherry works 40, and Tanisha works 12.
Okay.
What was, do you have an idea what the head count was? For a given period of time in
I-
2019?
For the, well,
Well,
I had the first, I
You track
had
it by
the,
the quarter?
I did it for the first half of the year in that, which went till the end of June, but I don't have it to date. Sherry has it at her click of the computer, but she can attest to the fact for our numbers being significantly. Sherry, you want to
Yes.
comment on numbers?
I don't have them in front of me, but
Do you know,
probably looking at,
I should have
I'm
had
going to
last-
guess by December 31st, we should probably be about 11,500.
if I'm not mistaken, at our last board meeting, Sherry reports every month the number of people that have come into the library and what they did when they got here, and gives us a report. And it was in last month's minutes, last month's report, director's report. I'm gonna go by rote memory, but I think for the previous, that was this October meeting, so that would have been the month of September. It had to have been close to 700? Was
Yeah,
it
I
close to
think it was eight
700?
something.
Yeah, for the month of September, because she's
Yeah.
reporting on the previous month. And then she'll give a rundown of how many use the internet, because we can actually monitor how many internet users are using our Wi-Fi, whether they're in the parking lot or inside the building. Yeah, so, you know, nothing is private anymore.
Is that included in your number, Wi-Fi users in the parking lot?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one,
The
because we
Meraki,
get that,
because they're
we get it
using
from,
our Wi-Fi
Yes.
from inside this building, so, and that's all counted.
yeah. You know, how many use the public computer, how many people took out books, how many people
So every time
take
I
a
drive
book.
by, my phone goes off.
If you're using our Wi-Fi,
No,
we
I-
get a count.
I
Because my
I don't
phone
know
clicks on
about
it every time I'm in the
that.
parking lot.
We get a
But if
count,
they're in the parking lot, they
We get a
count
count,
for
yeah.
that.
Boy, we added some numbers plowing this parking lot.
you know. Watch what you say. Watch
Thanks, Randy.
because we listen.
Just add the numbers up
You
every time I
know.
plow.
But the numbers are staggering. They amaze me every time.
Well, I would think going forward,
Especially not during July and August. The numbers that we're getting outside of July and August it just amazed me that many people use this library. And what also, that doesn't surprise me though, is when I talk to people from out of town, because I'll say we've moved to library because they have why. Have you been to our library? Even, we were having an event. How impressed people from out of town are with a small town, really small village, the type of library that we have here. I tell you, you should all be very proud of it. Should all be very proud of it.
We are.
And rightly so, because I travel not extensively, but when we do travel out west or down south, I go and visit a library. I do, it's one of the things, quilt shops and libraries that I visit. And I am amazed at what we have for a community this size.
I would think going forward, if you could gather information, quantitative data that you keep track of, either by the month, by the quarter, whatever, number of users, if you can figure out how they're using it, and to justify when everybody here at the table is no longer here, and there's new people going forward, 5 years down the road or whatever, well, this is what we've done.
And we had that, and we had that, we had
And
that.
here's
I
the
have a
chart,
state
and here's the
report.
chart.
We
and,
do, it's in the state gets a report on that every year.
Okay.
Every
All
year I
those
have to
numbers
do
are in
one.
the state report.
all right, good.
Yeah, every year we have to do that.
And Karen, you handed out that report
Mm-hmm.
at was it the last
That was the
meeting
first,
or
that was the first
couple?
6 months, that was the data from the first 6
Right,
months
and
of the
that
year.
was-
It was a semi-annual report.
Right.
And I'll do another one
Is
at the
that
end of the year.
on the charge desk?
Yes, we did.
Yes, it
It's on
is.
the charge desk, yeah.
We'll
Yeah,
have
and
to-
everybody here got one, I mean, we
Right.
saw, that's what brought my attention to the public use, the public computer use. My
Mhm.
little flag went up on that, so. Because, as I was telling Mark before the meeting, I'm a taxpayer. I pay a few parcels of taxes, so, and I will never complain about taxes being spent wisely and in the best interest of the people that it serves. So, I'm not gonna complain about high taxes.
I got a question, Karen. What does Tanisha's hourly wage work out to?
Well, just so I happen to ask, I just happen to have that. Tanisha currently makes $11.43 an hour. Minimum wage will increase on December 31st to $11.80 an hour. So she has to go up legally. So we have recommended her to get an even $12 an hour, the 20 cents an hour more over minimum wage.
So it'd be
So-
$144 a week.
She gets $7,488 annually, working 12 hours per week.
Okay. I've got library aid, which is Tanisha, 27,500.
No,
No, that's,
And Roxanne.
and Roxanne.
Oh,
no, that's
and
two people.
Roxanne.
That's why I said,
Okay.
no, that's,
That's-
yes, right, that was two people.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
two people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this budget reflects $12 an hour for Tanisha.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Mhm. Because you have to pay her $11.80, so we just said, how about $12.20 an hour more? But we're not gonna hire a summer aide for 2,000, so really you can also say that that's only 57 instead of 78. You could actually subtract the fact that we're not asking for 2,000 for summer help. So we don't need that.
And our girls do a great job here.
They do, they
deserve
do
to
a
be
very
paid
good job, I know.
Much more than that.
Our salaries are low. Mhm.
You anticipate any more travel and training for the year?
Sherry is on the Directors Council. The Directors Council meets in Saratoga, and it's the directors of all the libraries that get together. It's for training purposes, workshops, brainstorming, and new and innovative things to do in your library. We encourage her to attend as many of those as possible. I
Any more
would
coming up this year?
actually, I would like her to go
There's
to
probably a
more.
couple more coming up this year.
Okay.
I'd like her to go. Yeah, they're very informative. Mhm. So, I don't know where else we can cut. I really don't.
Well, could you cut 1,000 out of the computers, or do you still feel that,
Well, you know, Dan, I guess because I don't know where this is going with the federal depository,
yeah,
as a real concession here.
you got 3,000?
Yeah, I know. And I don't know if I speak for the whole board, but I'm giving you, I'm throwing it out because I was playing devil's advocate with myself here, saying if I was sitting on that side of the table and somebody else was here, I would say to them, okay, where else can you cut to get this down without, everybody's got to pinch a little bit. Everybody, I mean, highway, right?
I knew
Building,
this was coming.
right? Everybody's got to pinch a little bit, right?
My pinch is
So-
bigger than most.
That's true, so I'm gonna, I'll go
Because of
for,
the budget,
Yeah,
too.
The
So, I mean-
difference is a 26% increase in the budget is kind of stunning.
If you were gonna
That's
pinch
the
somewhere, isn't that
problem.
where you would pinch?
where?
The computer?
No,
No?
no, I would,
Okay.
if I had to pinch, because I don't know what's happening with the federal
Yeah.
depository, and that's why I'm hesitant to do that. I'd much rather go down in library programs and keep our fingers crossed that we're gonna get some money from the Friends that we could put towards that, and decrease some money in office supplies. Now, I don't work there, I don't work in the library, and so I'm Sherry's sitting behind there, probably either glaring at me or what, but.
She smiled.
But
Yeah,
on the
big
other
smile on her
hand, I
face.
have to play devil's advocate
Yeah.
here as to where can, you
Well,
gotta
this is
pinch
not set in
sometimes, you know what I
stone yet, But
mean?
why don't we wait to see what Friends do with it
Exactly.
before it's,
Did anybody talk to him? No?
We sent them a thank you note for
This
their
is the Friends that
generous.
raises money for the library, but no communication.
Right. No communication with the library.
Okay. Just a question.
Well, they raise money for other things as well, not just the library. They give money to a lot of good community causes, and they do very well at
Friends
it
of the
too.
library.
Yeah, but they do give money to other places.
But any Friends money usually is earmarked specifically.
And I don't know if
Correct.
we can always do that. You try to, but you know, if you say, oh, we'd like so much to do for programming. Well, if we can't schedule programs that people are gonna come to, then it's a waste of money. Then we'd much rather use that money for collection or things that are gonna be actually of benefit to the patrons. So we've never taken even donations from the public that have been earmarked. Very seldom. We have somebody, yes, because gentleman said, here's the money, let's buy some new chairs for, here.
Oh, somebody else paid for that. I was wondering
He
about
gave
that.
us money. He
Okay.
gave us money towards that, yes.
It was very nice.
It is. Ruby and Query, they're very nice memory foam chairs, if you haven't sat in them. Have a seat,
I'm sure they're wonderful.
they are.
What Friends give you last year? Do you know?
7,000.
7,500?
7,500, I'm sorry, 7,500. So those would be the only two places, Dan, that I would say, if it could drop a little bit, I don't know how statistically significant that is.
Well, if you get another 2,000 out, that's 10% of the increase, almost.
That's true.
It's,
Mhm.
do you think the board could just go back to it and try to get a little bit more in it?
Out where?
Well, that's the
No,
question.
no,
You
yeah,
guys
no,
would know
I
better
just,
than
I
me.
just, exactly, I'm just earmarking two places where I think it's even economically feasible,
Right.
and that's the
The
tightening
collection and the,
is, No, it was programs and
Office and
office
library.
supplies. It
Programs
was
and
programs
office
and office supplies.
Mhm.
No, it was programs and office supplies. And again, you have to look at why we had the increase. It wasn't because any of these other parameters were increased. You know, no, it wasn't anything tangible that was increased. It's an
No, I see
intangible,
that.
yeah, it's an intangible that was increased. So now to go and say, well, we're going to penalize the tangibles because of the intangible, that's hard to do.
Don't look at it as penalizing.
Well, it is because you're taking away from, so that's penalizing, you know. If I tell you you can't have a grader, that's penalizing because you want to have a pickup truck, so I'm penalizing you by not giving you a grader. I mean, I'm just using that as a, you know, but nonetheless. So anyway, I think it's a, I think this is fair considering the circumstances. That, you know, that we had to, you saw where the increases were.
We'll have to
I have no,
wait and
I
see
have no
what we
control
get
over that.
this
I have no control over that.
If anything. Because the year before, we got $100 from Friends, so,
Oh, yeah, I mean, you know, and that may come to fruition yet, which will help.
yeah. In 17, we got $100.
Mhm.
Last year, or, excuse me, 18, we got $100. This year,
It was the 7,500.
7,500,
Right,
so we just don't know.
right, no, you don't know, I don't know.
I'm sure that has to do with how much they have to work with.
That's true, exactly.
So going forward in time, see the medical's in there for 10 grand this year versus 1,800 last year? For 1,900?
Yeah,
Just saying, so going forward, we're looking at $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 additional forever, correct?
for everybody that works for the town that gets health
I'm
insurance.
just,
Oh, yeah, for everybody
no,
who gets health insurance,
correct.
right.
But in terms of the library, it's an additional 400%, starting in 2020, going forward forever. Not so with the rest of the town. The rest of the town is only going up 6 or 7 or 10%. The library's going up 400%.
Well, that's only for this
the-
coming year.
But going forward
Right,
forever.
right.
So once you've plateaued at this 400%, then that'll never drop down.
No,
It'll never come down.
no.
It'll always be up there. Okay.
Your solution to that would be?
I'm not offering a solution, I'm just pointing that.
That's a fact. Yes, you're right. That is a fact.
You under.
That is a fact.
That the board understands that,
That is a fact.
so that over
And
the,
I think that's a fact that not only manifests itself in a library budget, but it manifests itself in a town budget, in any other public sector budget. Is the cost
So over the
of
next
health
5
insurance
years,
is killing municipalities.
or let's say
It
4
is.
years, the
Telling
term,
you.
the term of a board member, you're looking at $35,000 in additional revenue to support the library.
No, I don't see
Over and
that.
above the status quo as of today. You don't see that?
No, I don't.
If you put someone in the
No.
highway department,
No.
you hire a new person in the highway
Okay.
Yeah, it's the
department,
same
you
thing.
have that going
understand
forward
that.
in the library, in the
Just
Yeah.
want you
highway
to look,
department.
I just
This
want
is-
you to
Well,
look
you
at
know
the
what?
term.
But
Conversely,
Yeah.
I could say that you had
Yeah.
gotten a real bargain.
Mhm.
You know, in previous years, you had a real
That's
bargain.
true.
And the bargain has just gone away.
No, I
And
just,
now we're maintaining a status quo with the rest of the town.
just trying to highlight how you have to think about these things when you use public money.
Well, the other problem
Absolutely.
is, there's a 2% tax cap. That's what this
That's
town is
true.
limited to this year.
Sure.
Yeah,
Okay, and only have 2% because we only went up 0.7% last year.
Right.
So we've got a 2% tax cap this year, we get the full freight. A 1% increase in the tax levy is $21,675. Your increase in your budget is more than that. So that means Randy, who has the bulk of the rest of the budget,
And have to,
you know, this is why I'm concerned. It is and I understand, there's nothing you can do because Sherry's entitled to her health insurance, just like
Right.
any other town employee.
Right.
I understand that. But I'm just saying, that's why the concern.
Oh, absolutely,
You know.
I completely agree. That's why I said I'll tighten as much as I can. He's gotta
Right.
tighten as much as he can, cause he's the next biggest
We're
budget
gonna
item,
have to tighten as much as we can.
you know, yeah.
But we,
I-
just throwing this out there, this decision was made when we hired that person. That person now is on our insurance. There's nothing we can really do about that at this point in time.
No,
I realize we all thought about this hard somewhere along the line when we hired that person and now offering them insurance. So the rest of the items are the only thing that we can touch,
That's right.
that we can
Right.
change.
right.
Likewise with my budget,
Oh,
there's,
no, I know,
I mean,
I know.
So the biggest way to save is to lay somebody off,
right,
but I don't see where you say the use is going up, going up, going up.
Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, playing, I'm not playing with your budget.
throw it right
But,
there.
well, on the other hand, you do have the potential to hold off something and allocate a capital reserve fund for a
For
large purchase.
Time periods.
For a time period where I can't do that.
Right.
You know, saying, don't we do that with the village? If you know you're gonna buy a big piece of equipment and it's gonna cost you $65,000, you
Put
know, you can
$10,000
at least
away for
put.
6 or 7 years.
Exactly, and then you've got the money to pay for it. And I don't know what your big ticket items are for this coming year. I know those trucks you had talked about and stuff, but, not that I want you to hold off on what you have to
Right.
buy or
No.
anything like that, but at least you have the potential to do that. I don't have that potential to say, well, we're gonna buy the best sellers next year,
Mm-hmm.
you know, after they're, you know, old. Or we're only gonna take used books.
Yeah,
You know, I don't
that's what I
know.
was gonna throw out there, just use
You know, you know,
Hey,
I-
I take a lot of used books.
we do, we take a lot of used books, yeah.
I
We're
don't
not
think
proud.
we're getting anywhere, I think we just
Yes,
have to
exactly.
wait and
I think you're
see
just
what-
gonna have to wait and see if
the
Friends comes through with
donation-
something. If they do not, and, you know, let's assume that there's not there because it hasn't come forward yet. What else can be done? What else can be done to stay under that 2%? And not minimize the importance of the library, and I said this last year, and I'll say it again this year, and that'll be the end of this. I will never ride on a snowmobile trail, you know, and yet I will support whatever Randy thinks needs to be done to keep those snowmobile trails in good shape. There are people who will never come into this library or utilize the services of this library. So by the same token, I think they should also be supportive of what we offer to those people who do. So even, you know, I'm not gonna ride your trails, but if you feel as if though you need something, I would support that and never complain, why are my taxes?
Well, you rent the snowmobilers.
You know? That's right.
You're missing out by not riding his trails.
Yeah, really,
That's
they're-
all right. I
Let's
know.
move on,
I
we'll
know.
save that for later.
I ride his road, so, you know, okay, so I mean, like you say, I mean, I think it's been hashed over enough, and I think we're just gonna have to see what happens.
The biggest question mark is the Friends.
That would make a significant, dent in the pile, yes, it would. Okay,
Thank you. Thank you.
you're welcome, thank you. I hope you get everything you asked for Christmas.
Not gonna happen.
But you're not gonna do it. Not now, you're not.
Yep, that's gone. Which is next?
Okay, people have
Where you wanna go now, Mark?
Thank you.
Debbie? Do you?
My budget, as you see, starts with town justices. And then it goes down to the town clerk. And then it goes to the next page with the general
Page two.
expenses for all of the town advertising and printing and such. And then it ends with the vital statistics salary.
He's doing good, he's doing good, thank you.
So you're starting at A 1110, right?
Yep.
I'd like to see her walk in.
Justice personnel, yes,
First thing I noticed, you got 3% in there
I do.
Thank you.
for cost of living.
I feel that my judges deserve the 3% for what they do. They're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 2 hours. So I feel that they deserve the 3%.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Nancy?
But it's just my proposal.
Hang on.
The other thing,
Where does your budget end?
It ends on, it starts on page 3 of my handout. I'm doing my budget preparation report and it ends on page 5.
I think budget ends.
On the budget pages, it starts on,
Page 3,
yeah,
3.
A 1110. 100.
which is the reports.
Got that, but where does it end?
It ends at vital statistics,
At what?
vital statistics, registration of vital statistics, it's 420.100. That ends on page 10.
It doesn't keep going,
It skips around.
it's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
I'm not consecutive.
it's not a consecutive thing.
Oh, I thought it was,
No, I'm
sorry.
sorry, no, it's not this. So on, I did put in 3% raise for everybody, in those lines. I did come down on our Justice Travel, conference. I came down from 1,500 to 1,000 because Faith and I are doing our training online right now. We are required 6 hours of training each year now as court clerks and deputy court clerks. The Justice Law books and forms, I went down $200 from 1,000 to 800. I know it's nickels and diming, but that's what we seem to be having to do. Justice dues, I kept it the same because that's mandatory. And everything else stayed the same on that. And the salaries on where it says Justice Personal Services, that's the total salary for both of the judges.
The 24,022.
And on the court clerk, on the deputy court clerk, there was an added $37.43 because Faith will be going to, her anniversary will be December of next year. So I put in an extra couple dollars just because she was going to go up to step and grade next December as her anniversary, just so I wouldn't fall short. So I averaged it out to be about $37 of an increase. And then the next page on town clerk,
It's A 1410. Chris.
town clerk tax collector. I put 3% in for myself and for my deputy because I feel that my office is being used more and more as other offices are not around. I'm the person in the front door. And when I'm visiting with people or answering questions, Faith is answering the telephones, that I should be answering my phones. So I really feel that the town clerk and the deputy town clerk are doing more and more as the years have gone on. I did go down on some of the travel expenses,
Excuse me. So
and again,
why is the deputy clerk a little more than the 3 from?
because she's going to
She's-
step and grade
she's
in
going to step
December of
and
next year.
grade.
I just didn't want to fall short because it's $60. So I just want to make sure that, you know, we had it in the budget. And I did come down, for that extra money, I did cut $50 off my books, my town clerk forms. So I did do whatever cutting I could there too. And then, my next page, which is 1670-400, that's central printing and postage. That is printing for everybody in the building, meaning when Randy needs things, all the ads that go on that comes out of that budget. If planning board, they need to advertise, ZBA board, anything, that all comes all out of that. My stamps are my stamps because of course we do a lot of mailing, both for supervisor's office, Kathy's office, for Randy's office, whatever, that comes out of all those stamps out of central mailing. So I really don't think we can cut on stamps, but, that's that. And then vital statistics is my last line.
Excuse me, question.
Mhm.
Why do we do so much mailing? Is there an opportunity to do emails
Well, we
electronically
pay
or
bills.
anything?
All the, most of the bills are all paid by that.
Check.
Paychecks are mailed out. So that doesn't come out of, that comes out of my lines, but that's not even my office. but
Why do we
it's
why do we mail paychecks?
Some people aren't in the office.
Right,
Yeah, they,
Oh, I've never worked for a company that I got my check in the mail.
well, think of all the ones that Kathy, that you mail out,
I have to mail pay stubs and his check,
right?
if they're not on direct deposit. And if they are, I still have to get the stubs, I give them his, but I have to mail.
Just
those
ask.
out.
I mean, and then we have the stamps, of course, for, the other stamps that come out for the taxes. Now, I don't have to mail those out if you want me tomorrow. We can just have people, you know, we can have people pick them up. What do you think?
We probably
I think
had
they
about 50 bills that we went through today, so that's 50 checks that Kathy's gonna have to mail tomorrow.
But again, it comes all out of
Right.
my office.
But are we looking to afford ourselves any electronic advantage?
Well, actually, we just got
In
offer
the
today from the
digital.
linen company, the guy that does our rugs and stuff, that if we go online, that will save us $3 a month.
There you go.
So guess what? We're
36
gonna do
bucks a
it.
year.
There you go.
If you go online for the bills,
They're gonna start sending us their bills by email instead of by the paper form.
right, but that's coming in, that's not going out.
No, but I'm just saying, we're gonna save $3 there.
Email them a check.
Yeah,
Yeah.
$36 a year, you know, pennies add up.
there you go.
Well, yeah.
So I mean,
It's
you
a
know,
fax number.
it is what it is when it comes to that. But Mark, if you can, I mean, usually we pretty much use our stamps down to the penny every year.
What are they up to now, 55?
We tried to buy those forever. You know?
Yeah.
Remember, we
Okay,
Taiwan over
remember I
here?
used to do that?
We used to have to buy the forevers like in June.
Buy $2,000 worth of Forever Stick.
I just found some in my house. Oh, damn, it's like found money.
Anything that can be done electronically, whether it's a pay stub, whether it's a check, direct deposit, anything else like that, is a significant savings versus paper.
yeah,
We're not just talking stamps, we're talking, the biggest thing is labor. Labor benefits that mushrooms.
Mhm.
You know, for every dollar.
I mean, every employee should be getting their check direct deposited.
Not
and they should be
no,
getting-
not necessarily. A
They
lot-
should be.
Well, a lot of the
They
guys
should
in the back, they want their checks in hand.
I understand that, but when you talk about saving money, there's not a company today that doesn't do
I realize that, but this is a municipality, we're not a business like you are in the corporate world, this is a municipality.
it's an area of savings.
And your vital statistics you started to say.
Just, that's what it is.
Health insurance coordinator too,
Mhm.
you didn't put in a raise for that.
I did not.
That was start. That was on purpose?
I don't know, this year I really felt like, I know it sounds silly, I struggled with that insurance this year. I mean, I worked harder this year than I have probably ever had trying to get it straightened out, but it's up to you what you all think.
You didn't put in a raise though, you should.
If you wanna add that, that's fine with me. Like I said, this year was a tough year. I hope I helped everybody out to the best of our ability. It was a very difficult transition for
You can
us.
get Nathan Tower trained.
I can't
Well-
train them.
Any of the hospital groups.
It was a tough one.
Yeah,
I'm
are.
hoping, I did put a call into Brian, an email into Brian like you had asked about setting up a meeting. I haven't heard back, he was out of his office, that was Friday, I think I put a message into him, so I haven't heard back from him on that. So, yeah, I mean, I think we struggled a lot with that this year. So.
But you think it'll be easier next year,
I do.
as we move forward?
I do,
with
if we can stay there, I think we all understand it, and let me tell
The
you
issues
something,
we had
It's a big change.
weren't really that it was our issue.
it was a double entity,
There was a lack of communication with how we were supposed to be doing
right,
things.
but I really gotta be honest with you, it is fabulous to have that high deductible card.
Sure,
Yeah,
That sometimes when you were gonna go to the doctor, some people would say, I really just don't have that extra $40, or I don't have that extra copay for
Right.
this.
right, it's
And I
gotta be
really-
better for
And I
everybody.
really feel that it was a great idea to do. I'm hoping that everybody else is as happy with it as, that we were all, after, in the long run, I know Kat struggled with her insurance too. But, and I know Brian worked with you quite a bit to try to help you out. So, but again, hopefully Brian can come back at us and,
Any big change like that to something
This
really
was huge,
difficult
yeah,
for
yeah.
people,
yeah.
it takes an adjustment
Yeah,
period.
but I think the idea of having that high deductible card was very beneficial to a lot of people who normally would not have gone for a strep throat or something like that, or sinus problems or something like that,
Yeah.
so I think that was definitely to our advantage.
Well, and Debbie gets them all. You know, every time someone has a problem, that's where they go.
Well, I
into
know,
her
that's why
office.
she's a health insurance
So you can
coordinator.
put that, you can put that
That's why
slide
you're
back
making
out
the
there, yeah.
That's why you're making the big bucks.
Well,
Yeah,
it's just
really.
somebody that somebody has to come back to talk to, that's all, and especially the guys, you know, like, a lot of times, you know, even just when Rennie worked with our, when we just worked with Workman's Comp, you know, Trevor was fabulous, he's a great kid, but again, he just needed some nurturing with some of the forms. So,
Well, especially young people, they don't know
Yeah.
how to handle that.
You do feel it'll get easier though.
I do, I really do, but I'm not, you know what, I don't have a lot of, I don't have any medical problems, so
Yeah.
you know, Randy's wife had a lot of struggling this year, but I think we got that straightened out.
because companies were billing us before the insurance company was telling us
Yeah.
what we owed.
Yeah,
And we, her and I, pay bills when they come.
Right.
And it's that,
Then you're waiting for your money.
next thing you know,
Yeah.
we're getting another bill.
Clear.
I'm like, we have already paid this.
Mhm.
So they were double billing, and then try to get that back is
Yeah.
a nightmare.
yeah, so,
I just got a form from Nathan Tower to apply for financial aid for a $10 bill from May, which I have been on the phone with them like a million times. I have a $58 credit. And
and it made it, Nathan Latour, I don't mean to mock them or say anything, but they really, it was difficult, because a lot of them didn't realize that we went on to this high deductible, so they were just billing where they wanted to bill, like, whoa,
Mhm.
no, so that was kind of
They
difficult.
were our biggest enemy.
You know how we're ending up with the pool of money?
I do not, and I sent a note to Brian about that too, Dan, as of the date, and he had not gotten back to me.
That's one of the things that we should
Right.
discuss with them.
I know that
That
I
could be a
have like
big number.
$600 and some odd dollars left on my card,
That could be a big game
you know.
changer.
It
so
could
I'm-
be, it could be.
that's not bad.
But we don't know.
To me, is
Exactly,
it?
and I have one more appointment.
That's
I've got-
not good
I
at this
got-
point in time.
So,
No.
yeah, so I'll probably be looking at putting at least 500
But
back into my
That
roll.
needs to stay in
You know,
that.
So, you know,
Right.
again, this was a
That's
good
what I
year for
mean.
me, but, you
But
know,
if-
Well,
But
yeah,
last
but
year we
the
put,
whole
what,
idea is if we can
48,
build up that health
48,000.
savings account,
This year we only have to put
that
25,000.
helped on that
in it.
cost of
Right.
that increase.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Gain.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
it's a big number that could affect this,
Yeah,
so that's what we
well,
need
as soon
to,
as I get something more solid from Brian, I've got to write out to the board.
thank you. All right,
That explains that.
The assessor's not going for any training this year?
I don't
Not
think,
my budget.
no,
He's gonna do it online probably.
I don't know, think that's not
I
my
asked-
budget line, I don't
I
know.
asked-
who checked that.
Barry about that, and Barry said that he's pretty well set for the next couple of years,
Okay, good.
so.
Well, that's a little bit of savings.
Mhm.
The assessor's salary seems high. They're using a 53% figure for benefits. But that gets adjusted down. That's based on a family plan. It gets adjusted back when they actually break it out. And he's a two-person plan, so,
So you expect that to go down?
yeah.
Okay.
Any more questions for Deb?
Nope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time.
What do you wanna do now? Dan?
Yeah, Dan's budget.
I didn't take any increase. I kept everything the same. We should discuss Kathy. I sent an email out to everybody. I didn't hear back from anyone.
I didn't get any email.
We sent it to you
When was this?
a couple weeks ago.
I honestly don't remember getting an email about what, Kathy?
Yeah.
You don't need more.
And while I see you've left it unchanged,
Is that?
you've left Kathy's salary
I left it
unchanged?
unchanged because I wasn't sure how the board wanted to feel that. I know there was some concern about some of her job duties that are now being done by the new auditor. So I
That's
wasn't,
what I assumed, why you did that.
and Kathy, you're a grade 3, step 4,
Grade 4.
grade 4?
I went to the county and I asked them,
Do you wanna come up and bring a chair up? To be more comfortable?
started as a grade 4, but I actually passed the senior account clerk test back when I started. And I've been getting just this with maybe a 2% raise. The grade 8, oh, thank you. That's so nice. And if you look at this, I mean, right now I'm getting $14.24 an hour, and according to senior account clerk, I should be getting $32,000, which is a lot more than $14.24 an hour.
But you're not a senior account clerk.
I passed the test. I should be.
I know you passed the test, but we were looking for an account clerk.
Yeah. So how do you go up in grade if this isn't it all about grade and step and taking the tests?
Well, I don't think you can automatically go up in grade. The board would have to agree to that. And frankly, I know you're gonna feel like I'm picking on you, and I'm sorry.
You always do.
But my concern is that, you know, we, part of what we're gonna be paying this auditing firm is to do the AUD every year. And it's just something that I think I would be willing to go with the increase to the senior account clerk if you were able to do that at this time. But maybe 2 years of
It's
training
gonna
on
be
it
a lot
isn't
more
enough.
work for me having these people come in there to have to work with them.
Yeah, but that's the only way we're gonna be able to get it done.
The AUD, I don't think you need them to do it. I
No.
think you need, there's gonna be some questions that you're gonna have to work with them on.
Yeah.
And that was what we had talked to Will Reynolds about, was that it wasn't for them to do the AUD in full. I think there are some towns that have them do that. But to assist Kathy as needed, not to do.
Yeah, not to do it.
Yeah, cause a lot of it is just fill in the blanks. You know what I mean? It's just.
Yeah.
Right. So it isn't something, I mean, it'd be silly to pay them to do that. Kathy can.
But we
very-
paid you the last 2 years.
No, you paid me to do probably the part that Kathy might need assistance with
Okay.
down the road.
So what I'm saying is
And
I'm
they're gonna
assuming
charge a
that's
whole
about
lot more
this.
than $724 that I got
they're-
for helping, yeah.
Yeah, but they're doing an audit also. It's
Right,
not-
no,
that's-
no,
That's
we're
just a
not
small
just-
portion of what they're doing, so.
But I'm not sure Kathy should be necessarily penalized because we hired an.
I'm sorry, I don't look at it as being penalized.
How do you feel?
I feel she's a little underpaid, yet, I would have hoped by now that you would have been able to tackle some of the duties that we hired you to do that really haven't happened. We've had to take some other steps, so, you know.
You're not due to go up a step this year then?
I don't think so.
From what I'm wondering, since
I don't think so.
What would you feel comfortable with?
I don't know. I just feel, you know, I just hired a girl at the dump. I have a lot more responsibilities than her, and she's making more money than I am.
Again, what do you feel is,
I don't know, a lot more than $14.24 an hour for what I'm doing, and with auditors coming in, and I'm nothing to do with the AED, I'm gonna have a lot more to do.
I'm not so sure that's the case, but
okay, you were hired in March of 2017.
February.
Oh, okay, I thought it was March. And there's a 6-month probation before you can go up a step, is that, am I right there, or is that wrong?
It's a year, right?
It starts with your anniversary date of hire? Okay, so in February of 2019, you went up a step. So you would not go up a step next year, is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay, so we're not talking about a step increase, we're talking about COLA. And what is the COLA this year?
I think it's, I haven't heard from the county yet. But, they're basing everything on 2% right now, on the preliminary stuff. So, now think about it. Kathy, you want to come up with a figure that you feel comfortable with?
Yeah, I'd have to think about it,
All right,
okay?
all right. What else do we have here? Everything else pretty much stayed the same. Any questions on?
Well, I noticed you took, the account clerk / secretary out of your budget. Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah, that was
That was
what we
me.
paid Nancy.
What was my line? The $724?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was,
The, what was it that I saw? I don't think the schools should be decreased for supervisor.
school and travel,
If there's a possible new supervisor, I don't think we should, cut that. Because perhaps someone else might wanna do classes.
well, I've never spent nowhere near that, amount. There's the 2 AOT training sessions, one in Albany and one in New York. Do you wanna add the $200 back to that?
Yeah.
Alright,
Which one was that?
The,
it's 1220.400.
400.
also, the same with town board. That's 1010-100, back page. Go back to the beginning.
1410-400. You want to bump that to 1200?
No, 1220. Keep up, Mark,
12,
keep up.
12, okay. You wanted to go to 14?
Yeah.
Right.
And then going back to page 2, 400 contractual, that was taken out totally.
And what does that represent?
That would be anything that the town board does, if the town board goes to training, or meetings, or mileage, or registration, or anything, you know, for classes. There will be 2 new town board members. I think something should be added in there.
How much?
Well, current town board used 400, so, I don't know, 1,000 maybe? Still less than this year.
What number you on?
1010.
400.
10,400.
Does that $409
I got
represent the
490.
conference I went to? The
Yeah.
training that I went
Yeah.
to, is that what that is? Okay, so if we doubled that, that would be sufficient for 2 new board members, right?
I guess.
We'll go
Yeah.
1,000.
That's what I should have found.
Alright. We're going the wrong way.
Don't worry, the highway's got it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the highway will take care of it all, right?
It's a good thing you're here, Randy.
Yeah. Wednesday's gonna be a long night.
Oh, God.
I gotta head north.
Better have headlights.
Anything else?
Attorney professional services, $5,000. It was bumped down from 13,000 to 5,000.
Yeah, I think that was mainly because we had that up when we did that, proposal to extend the water line. We haven't really spent that.
Are we due for any suing from, any of our, not to mention any names, but isn't there a certain date that we're up to where she can possibly sue the town again?
Who's that?
Mrs. Cordelli?
Oh. Yeah. I don't know.
cheaper to put
I think
out a
there's
bid on
another,
it.
this is the last year,
Yeah, I think it's 21.
yeah. But I'm not sure that will be our responsibility now, that, will that be through the county now? I need to check that. It's actually a county employee now,
Oh, that would be scary on the county then.
Don't tell 'em.
I don't know, that's something we better check on, for
Yeah.
that could get
What's
very.
budget personal services?
That'd be me.
Oh, that would be you, okay.
Got it.
You notice I haven't had a raise, so.
Neither did I, so. But we were up, back in the good old days, when we used to get sued constantly, we were up like about 25,000 a year for that, to
Yeah.
cover
I'm not sure how that,
her
I better
lawsuits.
check that.
You think we ought to set up a contingency fund?
We have one, don't we? $5,000 you wrote it for. We'll probably-
No, a specific one.
For her.
Well, no, we can call it something else.
I feel comfortable going with 5,000.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to handle it, let me check that,
I check and find out first.
let me check with,
Yeah. Randy, did you come up with these things for buildings? Was that you?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll leave that for Wednesday?
Yep.
alright, what else we have?
So, I know you and I mentioned it at one point in time, but this,
Where are you?
hold on, I lost my page. Where did I go?
What you're looking for?
The assessor jumped up so much. Do
13.
you ever get the answer to that?
13.
Yeah, cause they used a 51 or 53%, for benefits, when they calculate, when they do the budget, the county, and that's based on a family plan,
Oh, that's what you were talking about before.
yeah. So it won't be that much, but that was the budget number they were using, so that's why I put it in there. And I didn't know at the time
And
why,
you and I were talking, you didn't know why it was going up.
yeah, 16%,
Yeah.
but that's a high number that the county uses for benefits.
Okay.
It's based on, so most of it came from the fact that they have him on as using a family plan.
Liability insurance,
So-
9 months,
Hmm.
that 11%, is that about where he said it was gonna go?
I use 10.5% from, based on Debbie, what Debbie told me.
No,
There's
no,
gonna
not
be
the
some
health
numbers that are
insurance,
up.
The liability, the
I'm
trucks, yeah. the
Salt shed
9
rental, we've been charging the
I'm sorry.
same amount for I don't know how
Yeah,
long.
whatever the number she gave me.
And all of a sudden,
1910.
according to this
43.
printout, we've collected 3 times as much.
Where are you?
I thought the liability
Page
insurance
one.
was the one where she said it wasn't going up.
Salt shed rental. So
Yeah,
obviously
6.5,
something that
that's
we
6.5%.
collected got put in there.
Up $1,451.
Hmm.
The email from Debbie regarding insurance, not health insurance, was after a meeting with our insurance representative, Steve Sawn. It really looks good for the 2020 budget.
Yeah.
2018 premium
right
was
here.
$106,810. 2019 is $108,261, up $14.51. Not bad with a workers' comp still in the works for 3 years. So that means, I don't know
What can I tell you? We
But
need
this
to
is
look at
just
that.
Yeah, we need to look at that.
Up 11.28%, and she was saying,
Right.
it would go up
Salt shed
almost
rent in
nothing.
New York State and Hamilton County. We've been
That's what I was
charging,
curious
I
about,
believe,
but
this
it,
amount for
it
both
could
of them.
be the way it's broken
Somehow,
down, because
this
it goes into three
is what we
funds.
budgeted.
It's in
we got
general highway.
That
and
should've been over here, so
garbage.
did we ever not get
Oh, you
that?
based it on the.
We're short.
Well, I have no the basis at the moment,
Is that what Kathy?
right?
We need to straighten that out.
Cause I would say somebody
Yeah,
owes us
I
money.
based it on,
Yeah.
the bill that you okayed to pay.
From where?
That'll get some interest going.
Tell you.
Page 1,
Page
you know
one.
me, I like to go line by line.
Mark, we found a problem here.
Only one?
Hey, page 1, 2410.
Page
Hang on,
one.
wait a minute, hang on a second.
Page
Okay,
one.
are you all set with this?
That's why it's easier to go line by
For the
line.
time being? Okay.
What?
Page,
Salt shed rent, New York State and Hamilton County.
It should be fixed. I already spoke to,
yeah, that wasn't my problem.
yeah, no, the,
Okay, so we
This-
probably collected from the state of New York to 3420.
8, but we still need to get the 1,000 from the
Bingo.
We
county.
never got 1,000 from the county?
I'm not sure, that usually comes like last minute at the end of the year, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just put on the wrong line, that was discussed this morning.
So going forward,
Mhm.
moving over to 2020,
Mm-hmm,
are we charging New York State the same amount?
yes, because that is a contract that was done when the salt contamination went through with the salt shed and everything in the state of New York, and I think that,
For life, or was it for time frame?
We need to look at that contract.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure how long, or do you think we're running out of time, is that what you
Well, it's
think?
going to start needing maintenance,
Oh,
and that ain't gonna cut it.
hmm,
Things are rusting out on it.
What's on the wrong
Imagine that.
line? This?
Was there an
Should
actual
be down
contract?
here?
yeah.
Huh?
Was there an actual contract?
That was way before my
Or
time.
you don't know?
And that dates back to 96?
Oh, yeah, it was definitely in the 90s.
96, I think. I saw the contract. I know we have a contract.
For instance, I mean, it's very minor at this point in time, but it's
Mm-hmm.
opening up eyes.
Debbie
A
has,
couple of things are
Debbie has a
falling
whole
off
file
of
on
it
it, yeah.
that were bolted on with steel bolts.
Oh.
Salt sheds shouldn't have anything steel in them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
20 years later, now they're surfacing.
that would be something that would probably have to be ironed out with the state.
Right, so either we up the rentals so that we can
Oh,
start,
I don't know if we can just say we're gonna up your rentals. I think that was part of the lawsuit, settlement, was that the county pays 1,000 and the state pays.
Yeah, but there's gotta be a time limit on that.
well, that's what I'm saying, this thing could
Right.
fall down and now we gotta build another one and still only collect $4,000 a year.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying
That's not
that
gonna-
there might have to be some kind of new,
Like,
even a
come out and
loss,
go,
that there might be another
tell them to store
lawsuit.
store this all somewhere else.
Right, that won't go over well either.
And we got a
How's your
bargaining.
rapport with those folks?
Good,
Well, just hit them up then.
I mean, do you
man.
think Nate?
I will, I just wanted to know what the facts are before I go open my mouth at the meeting, cause the
As
meeting's
far
probably
as-
coming up
as-
in a week or two.
I
This,
know the contract, I know Debbie has the contract, because she got a big file of all that stuff.
this has been the same amount, that's why
For
I
eons.
notice it for a long, long time, so, and
So
I'm,
at least we can throw in 30, across the board there, the 3420, where there's a minus 100% right now.
Right.
So going,
it's 3428,
this is just like, a standard thing year over year,
That's what I'm hearing.
it has been.
but so nobody's talking to anybody, you don't negotiate?
Well, there's
So this
probably a
big-
contract for a period of time.
Like I
That's what we need
said,
to look at it.
when I found out that some things are not up to snuff right now, and there's gonna be maintenance
That's a
involved,
good- That's a good point.
I
then I
don't
said, we
even,
gotta figure out maintenance.
I
because-
don't think it was actually for the building of the salt shed. I think this was the amount of money that the state was gonna pay for the wells and the salt contamination. And the building of the salt shed was the remedy that it wasn't gonna
Yeah, but it's still gotta be maintained.
continue, so, yeah.
Just an avenue that I think we gotta, at least a maintenance plan.
Well, let's start by getting a copy of that contract.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might have been out, maybe it's 30 years or something like that, and that would have been,
I don't remember.
yeah. Maybe it's 50.
Better not be 100.
Alright, we're getting into your stuff.
Okay, just moving on, back to your stuff.
No,
Wednesday's better for me.
I was done, wasn't
I don't know.
I? Any other questions on mine?
Road control,
What?
Yeah, it hasn't changed, unchanged.
3510, 100.
That was unchanged.
Yeah, and I'm going to again say, why are we paying that much money for an animal control officer?
I know it's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money, and, it's $100 a week.
Yeah, what page was that on?
Page 5. 3510, 100. This budget is gonna be a problem, and I think we ought to cut that down. How do you feel?
I know I would check that one time and the town of Wells pays their animal control officer $500 a year.
That's what
Town of
most
Marietta
people-
pays the same.
They pay 500?
Yeah.
But we get all their animals.
What do you mean we could all do that?
No, that's
We do, then
No,
we
we
have
don't.
the nice,
actually,
we have the nice little
Actually-
kennel and
actually, we've had to use theirs when ours was
full,
not full, not up to snuff, shall I say.
didn't have heat.
Mike, you have an opinion?
I'm kind of drawing right there.
I'm sorry?
So I'm kind of drawing right there on that. Wells in Marietta are only 500.
Yeah,
I think Indian Lake is 600. None of them are over 1,000.
They pay a flat fee, not a per instance.
It's a 1-year contract.
Just
well,
a
what you have to do is you have to make sure there's fresh food, clean water, right, Randy? It's gotta be checked periodically because, who was it, that lady that comes?
Yeah,
twice a year? They
Yeah.
come and inspect it.
Well, last fall at budget time, we asked Mike to keep a log of this year.
Yeah.
And I think we ought to look at that log. I mean, if he's dealing with 5 animals a year, that's a lot different than if he's dealing with 50 animals a year.
Right.
So I would like to take a look at that log and then make a decision.
Okay. You want me to contact him and see what he has?
Sure.
Okay.
Emergency preparedness is staying the same.
Right, that
That's
can't
for
change.
Generator.
We can cut that superintendent of highways.
Mm,
Nope, that's Wednesday.
just keep rolling. The youth rec, I think Sammy's doing a good job.
She's doing an excellent job.
Historian,
No change. I talked to Ann.
did you talk to Ann, you said?
Yeah,
And she's good with that?
Yep.
She never did get her computer, did she?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, she did?
well, I think she had it, or fixed.
She got it like in January, February, didn't she? I thought she got a new one.
Um,
It was
actually,
pretty cheap when
at the
she
time I
did it.
talked to her about the budget line, she said she was trying to get Pete to come there.
Come work on her, at her house?
I don't think she really knows what she's doing with it, I really don't, but,
She used to,
I don't think she really knows what she wants.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
half the
but she,
problem.
when I was still working there, she was asking me to buy her a computer, and I said, tell me what you need and
It's
what.
never happened.
No,
It's the same one.
okay, and, she used to come in and get inkjet cartridges and things of that nature in order to print things for the museum, and so that would be the only contractual, I think,
Right.
so that probably shouldn't be zero, at the very least.
So you wanna put it back to 250?
Well, yes, I,
250?
I mean, she used over that this year, but that doesn't mean, you know,
Does she still come and get cartridges?
I don't know, I don't work there.
I've never, she's never asked me about any of that stuff, so.
What's your point? Did the adult recreation people talk to you?
Yeah, I think it's up $400, is it?
Yeah,
Or-
but she cut out one trip.
Actually, probably 2 trips.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I didn't feel comfortable. She gave me a schedule which came up to all the trips at $8,400 or whatever it was there. And I didn't, and she told me they're probably gonna cut these other 2 trips out, same as they did this year, but I didn't feel comfortable
Okay.
taking it out of the budget just in case it changes.
Well, they definitely dropped in the colony trip because it's too much of a ride for the seniors.
Okay. I
Down
didn't ask
there.
any questions why, I just thought that, I would hate to have them all say, yeah, we really want to do all the trips now and not have enough money budgeted, that's all.
Well, it was cut down by 400, that's okay.
Well, the more than okay, because one trip is definitely gone, and that was the most expensive
And
one.
it was about the $800 or $900 one.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Yeah.
And the meal site,
And no change.
okay, that has 0 in there then.
Yeah, what happened there? It was 3,500 this year. We spent
Wasn't that
0
just-
so far.
Well, that
That was the
fall.
transportation.
That was fall.
Oh,
wasn't it?
that was,
So
really?
that's gone.
That was the
No,
car.
that wasn't fall,
No,
No.
No?
no. That is the assistance that the town gives every year to them having a meal site there,
Gives to who?
the senior citizens. Aren't you glad I'm here?
well, I thought,
Did, we
what
never
I've
gave
been
them
told right along by the seniors is that they host the meal site as a service to the community.
Okay,
I didn't know they were getting paid to do that.
well, as long as I work for the town, they got $3,500 a year for the meal site.
Okay.
I don't believe they did last year, did they?
Well,
Where was it?
2019 budget, you have 3,500, but nothing spent.
Nothing spent.
This year. Yeah,
Right, 2019 budget.
they have to bring in a voucher so they can get it.
And are
Who
they
gets the
having
money?
to bring it in later in the year?
Lake Pleasant Senior Citizens.
Yeah.
Inc., LLC?
I don't
Association?
know,
It's incorporated.
yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
My mistake, I thought that's what we were, that line item was what we were paying for the car and Paul to,
I think we eliminated, the OFA eliminated him the previous year, didn't
We
we?
were
Like in the
paying
middle of
for
the year? Yeah,
yeah. I'll check. Should I check with Pauline on that?
I'd be curious to see when we got a check for them last year.
Well, it's probably late in the year, probably had to remind them that
Okay.
they didn't bring in their voucher.
Just, I wonder if we should be doing that, that's all. I mean, yeah, the senior meal site is a great thing, but honestly, you get one or two people.
You get 3
In
people
the summer, you
on
have
a
3
good
or
day.
4. Yeah,
That's when you go.
so. We might be better off just doing the home delivered meals. I don't know if they'll do that, but
But that,
we have a lot more home delivery meals than we do people eating there.
now doesn't some of the Warren County money fund
Yeah,
that?
comes from the Office of
Yeah.
Aging.
Yeah,
The 2 meals a day or whatever?
yeah, they pay for it,
So what's the 3,500 for?
exactly.
We're not paying someone to be there.
No, that's, check with Pauline.
Are they buying supplies or
I don't know.
Kool-Aid or?
That was always something that they got.
Was that what we were paying, Joe Weaver?
Nope, we weren't.
No,
we
she's
never
been gone
paid-
longer than that.
We never paid anybody for that. Any payroll.
No, cause she worked for the Office of the Aging.
I would have to say you need to ask Aunt Pauline.
Yeah. I'll call her.
That's the end of it for tonight.
Hold on a minute.
Just about.
Okay, the Office for the Aging pays half of the electric and heat bills, and they pay for all of the plowing. So apparently we're paying the other half of the electric and the heat.
I'll call her. I won't call her right now, but I'll call her.
No.
Oh.
Is the server on the town website is down today, this afternoon? I tried to,
It is down.
it is that, okay.
I haven't even been able to get in as admin. They migrated our website to our new domain, and something went screwy with it, and their engineer's on vacation. Yeah, so like, what do you do, at
He made the change and then he.
4:50 PM on Friday, he migrated it, then he left for a week, apparently.
Okay, we done?
The other, the, 6410-402,
That would be the chamber.
that would be the chamber. Being as fresh in my mind that Peter spoke tonight.
What page you on?
Fine. I think there's confusion between the Chamber of Commerce and the Information Office. And the Information Office is what we pay for, promotion. So no, I'm just saying to you, I don't wanna make a decision on this right now,
Oh, that's fine.
because I think we need to sit down with Donna, or maybe even the whole board, the whole chamber board, and discuss this. It just, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was always under the impression that the money that the town gives the chamber was for
Tourism.
the information and tourism promotion.
That's what it should be for.
And, well, we have the contract, which specifies, what they do for us, for their money.
I think in 2016, that budget was cut by 5,000.
Substantially, I think.
It was $5,000.
It's more than that.
Yeah.
Well, in the contract, it says the money to promote tourism and business development.
And them calling it the chamber, is that what?
I guess it's like a catch-all, like calling the manager and library director, right?
Yeah, I
I'm too
guess.
literal sometimes, I know I am.
Well, I agree with you, because when they came in that one time and said, well, we do copies for our, for our members, to me, it was like, we shouldn't be paying for a copy, to help subsidize copies for the members, is my thought. That's just me.
That was a conversation we just had a little while ago, Chris.
Hmm?
That's the same conversation we had a little while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you listening to me that time?
No, because I caught that too. Yeah. But I have a note on here that we were gonna talk to him,
Yeah.
but
I hate to discourage them, because I think that Donna is doing an awfully good job, and Bonnie. I mean, and after, the reason I was not interested in increasing their budget for last year was because I didn't feel the chamber for the previous few years or so had, well, a lot more than a few years, had done much, had not met the expectations that I had.
I have.
And now I think that Donna is doing a great job, so I would hate to,
I think Bonnie is a great asset
Yeah,
to
she
that
is,
office,
too, yeah.
because she's a very cheerful and pleasant person. And sometimes, nothing against the work that Donna is doing, but she isn't really inviting to talk to, you know what I mean? She's very businesslike.
oh yeah, she's very busy, yeah.
No, business-like.
Oh, yeah, well, that's
And
good.
I think when you have people coming in that are tourists, it's always good to put up a good face and a
Oh,
good,
yeah.
And I think Bonnie is fabulous for that.
Yeah, she does a good job with that.
Yeah.
So, I'd be personally willing to give them a little bit more money, but,
Well, perhaps we should get more information on that too.
I don't think it would hurt to sit down and then, once a year, maybe around budget time, and have a nice talk with the officers and the board of directors over there.
oh, they have a meeting come up next week,
Do they?
board meeting.
Perfect timing.
I'm sorry?
Perfect timing. Sit in on it and ask them some questions.
Oh, it's a board meeting, so, yeah.
You going, Randy?
I can't go to the board meeting, but I am a member.
You know,
All right, all set for tonight?
I think so.
We are.
Wednesday, 5 o'clock,
You buying pizza?
I'll buy a pizza.
Can't bribe me.
Bribe him, what are you kidding? You should be buying the pizza.
So you ate, hopefully you ate earlier.
I didn't, you guys decided on 5 o'clock.
Down yesterday, Friday.
That was our doing?
6:30.
I think we didn't want it to start like 8 o'clock. Last time I got testy, remember, Randy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's because it was 11 o'clock at night.
11:30?
Yeah.
Once we
Yeah.
hit 10 o'clock,
You know, Marty reminded me of that the other night on the phone, said, you gonna be there at 11 o'clock? I have no recollection.
No?
She reminded me. She called you.
I remember it well. I remember it.
We got, they,
Another card.
we got breakfast, Randy. We gotta set this table back up the way they were.
I hope so, because we're not gonna be able to do that.
No, this one goes over.
No?
Hey.
Big picture?
Yeah.
We're going for it now, Don.
Like going to the dentist.
So a table there and a table there.
Let's do take a picture.
I actually, I get yelled at.
Oh, you got yelled at?
Yes. Oh, that's, Gary's.
Yours?
He's probably asleep in the studio insurance.
I'll put it over here.
All right, good night, all.
Night.
All right.